Hello, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and welcome to December. The new moon will affect you, Sun, Moon, or Risings most from 5 to 14 degrees, and it happens overlapping November 30th and the 1st of December at 9 degrees of Sagittarius, which is pretty significant since the 9th degree represents Sagittarius and the 9th house. This is all happening in a lucky house for you. This is happening in your 5th house, a house that you naturally rule and shine in, Leo. This covers fun, luck, love, children, acting, theater, all forms of creativity, but also creative business and speculative gains, lottery wins, and also sports. It gives it an extra dose of good luck to the new beginnings that you're trying to seed now and can show some kind of results by the full moon in 6 months by June 11th. Sagittarius trines you and makes this an extra special new moon for you. These new beginnings would definitely be initiated by you with Mars in your first house at this time. And Mars will be spending a significant time in your first and your 12th house, which again, this could represent some kind of deep creative project. But anyway, Mars in you is trining over to the sun and the moon in the 5th house. Saturn is giving this new moon a bit of a hard time looking down from the 8th house of transformation, shared resources, death, and rebirth. And let's say this is like a new romantic beginning that you're trying to begin with this 5th house being so activated right now. In this 5th house, we also have the sun and Mercury. But maybe you're starting to feel like blocks around intimacy somehow, or blocks around shared resources. Maybe you want to invest into a business, but a partner is putting the brakes on, or there isn't enough access to capital for pleasurable activities that you want to do with a partner, like going on vacation or going on a vacation with children or your family. I can see you being frustrated as Mars is going retrograde by the 6th and is in your sign. Felt most for Leo risings, I would say like 0 to 10 degrees. You could be really feeling this. Maybe you're meeting someone new around this time romantically, but Saturn is limiting this new beginning by not letting your guard down due to fear of getting too close to someone new or due to an insecurity, especially if you've had a previous gnarly relationship. Saturn can cause fear wherever he's sitting, or a sense of limitation or stagnation or blockage, but Saturn does bring great rewards in a conquering of those obstacles and fears, but by working through them. So you have to put in the effort to get the reward with Saturn. I think this is a time to feel the fear and kind of work through it anyway. The protective double Jupiter influence is here in the 5th house now and is being trined by your Mars at the moment. So you'll have to work harder, but can see results by June around any effort that you're putting into a love relationship. Maybe it's new beginnings for your children, travel with children, or with a love partner, maybe a creative business or a project that you're working on that requires funding or loans. Again, because your 12th house and your 1st house will be activated so much with Mars bouncing in between Cancer and you all the way until next April. And the 12th house can represent our deepest artistic, kind of divinely inspired artistic projects, which come down through the pipeline of dreams or sudden insights. Or this could be around investments as well. And there's a limit there to how much you can take out. The 12th house can also represent debts. But you can find creative solutions or workarounds so you can accomplish the dream and not put yourself into too much debt. It may even be a dream vacation, a family cruise, and once-in-a-lifetime adventure, hey, the family wants to go to the Galapagos before global warming disappears the island. But seriously, and you have to put the work in to figure out, how to make this happen. But I think you'll be able to. Mars will have you figuring it out, especially in a good flow to this 5th house. I think if there is a travel opportunity here, there'll be healing involved, or a travel wound can be healed. And you're finally moving forward with a deep desire to travel overseas or somewhere long distance. I see travel and healing because the North Node is still in your 9th Aries house, where Chiron also is. And it's the North Node is trining Mars in your 1st house. For the 1st to the 9th, the 9th is a travel house. And then we have this 5th house Sagittarius activity. Sagittarius rules travel and rules your 5th house. So all these signs and placements represent travel and seem to be affecting Leos most, 0 to 10 degrees. Or last year working on a spiritual project, a creative business, or teaching. And again, spirituality is coming up because Mars will be going back into Cancer into your spiritual 12th house, or teaching. In spite of any blocks that you may feel now, these planets will shift and you will get forward momentum over the coming months when Mars goes direct. Just watch for frustration because Mars going backwards can feel like you're in a state of stagnation, and Mars does not like to be in a state of stagnation. This could be also new beginnings for your children and around their education as well, or maybe even them having like opportunities with sports scholarships and education, something along those lines. On December 6th, Mars will officially start retrograding in your sign at 6 degrees, affecting you most, 1 to 10 degrees, 0 to 10 degrees. And we have that Pluto Aquarius opposition in place, which is happening on your me-we axis. That's the 1st and the 7th house. And I talked about that in November's forecast. That opposition will be on and off until April. You can go back and listen to the time-stamped November astrology for the opposition. I'll link it down below. What I like for you is the Pluto-Venus conjunction, which is a whole new energy now that Pluto will stay in Aquarius for the next 20 years. And this conjunction last happened in 1778. So this is something significant, right? It's huge, and it happens on December 7th and can be felt through the 13th in your 7th house of partnership, serious committed love, close relationships, legal contracts, etc. If you have recently met someone and it's becoming serious, this is no faint of the heart casual relationship. This will be a very passionate, intense, and transformative love, and likely with someone with strong Aquarius placement, since this is happening in your Aquarius house. Even more so, since the ruler of Aquarius is Uranus. Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius and is trining over to this conjunction from your 10th house. So if you are meeting someone new, it could and most likely would be like sudden, and it could be through 10th house career means, at a government office, land investments, because 10th house is Taurus for you, and Taurus rules like land, farmland, etc. This could be through an online community, but tied to your career, maybe via luxury goods, or you have an import-export business tied to clothes, wine, food, and you're on a business trip or traveling for work and can meet this person that way. This conjunction is not receiving any hard aspects from which I can see, and I love this. Plus, Neptune in the 8th is involved, which can give this meeting an almost magical, mystical kind of like woo quality to it. Maybe there is a secret admirer here that comes out in a sudden way. If you're partnered, this could be you and a partner transforming the way your relationship works, never to be the same, but in a good way. There could be a dreamy, deep, intimate new beginning with a partner now, one that transforms you, heals you, or this partner that maybe there's a partner that it's had to be a secret relationship for whatever reason, is now being revealed in like that 10th status house. Like, surprise, I've been with so-and-so for several months, and yes, this person is becoming my serious partner. The 8th house is a shared money house too. So maybe your partner is the one who's experiencing these new powerful beginnings, and this trickles down and affects you in a positive way. This conjunction is happening like right at like 0-1 degrees. And so this would affect Leo's most from, like 0 to 5 degrees. I don't really give too wide of an orb when we're talking about the outer planets like, Pluto and Uranus and such. But all Leos will feel this conjunction at some point over the years, as Pluto has moved into your 7th house to stay now for the next 20 years. And Aquarius will come back to Venus over those 20 years as well. And those degrees will line up at some point with Pluto. On December 15th, also, one last thing, just always be careful with Pluto Venus. This could be obsessive love, whether it's coming to you or you're the one becoming obsessed, because this is in your partner's house, the 7th house, or they're dealing with obsessive people. So it's just something to throw out there, look out for. But I do see Neptune and Uranus touching this aspect in a like easy, nice, flowing way. On the 15th, the full moon in Gemini at 23 degrees affects you most if you're Leo, sun, moon, or rising from 18 to 28 degrees. And this is falling in your 11th house. Mercury also goes direct in Sag in your 5th house on this day. At the new moon in the beginning of the month, we were focused on your 5th house, and now we're doing a balancing act with something coming to fruition in the 11th around your biggest hopes, dreams, wishes. The 11th house covers sudden windfalls and lottery wins, friends, social outings, large networks, internet, scientific breakthroughs, humanitarian groups, astrology, etc. You can find yourself, it's a fame house as well. You can find yourself more popular, and you're Leo, you can be famous, especially I find this with Leo risings, for absolutely no reason at all other than you just being your beautiful lion or lioness self, Leo. You can find yourself more popular and in demand, and socializing after a period of being like more retired from outings. And this definitely ties in with the holiday season. A friend could need your help around this time. You can have fruition of a dream. Good luck, love, and money can also be a part of this full moon, as the 11th house is a lucky house, and Jupiter and Jupiter and Gemini in the 11th house is being trined by Venus in your 7th of committed partnerships and partnerships on this day, business partnerships. There could be fame here too. I already mentioned that. The 11th can represent celebrities, but you are the celebrity, Leo. Jupiter is also loosely conjunct this full moon in the 11th, and it could mean like a lottery win or multiple sources of income coming to fruition. Gemini is a sign of duality. So if you had different artistic projects in the hopper or different investments, maybe money coming in from a job, or maybe like a small lotto win, or maybe a creative work of art that you had sold and it's all appearing for you now, or it could be wins through your social media accounts, or if you have a social media business, you could meet a love through your friends, through social networking, through women. This can be really beautiful, and at the very least, it's just a good time with female energy, fun, friends, just a general sense of like happiness and a feeling of expansiveness of the mind and thought. Either way, this trine can be felt from December 15th right to December 25th, so this carries you right through in time for Christmas if you celebrate that. Just keep in mind, there is a little bit of that Saturn crunch, the Saturn Jupiter square is happening, but I think with Venus and this nice floated Jupiter, it really kind of mitigates any kind of blockage or depression or stuck feeling that Saturn often creates when it's touching a planet in a harder aspect. And it could just mean like realism has to meet the expansion, Okay, let's move on. So on December 30th, I love the way that December ends. There's a new moon in Capricorn at 9 degrees. Again, we're seeing this lucky degree happening, and it's in the 6th house where the sun also is at this time. This could be new beginnings unfolding now and over the next 6 months around your health matters, day-to-day work projects, self-employment, people you hire, health practitioners, diet and exercise. Our pets fall here, and so do our enemies and competition. What I love about this to the end of the year is that there are no hard aspects to this moon, this new beginning, and only support from Saturn, who also rules this house. Saturn rules Capricorn, and Saturn is also the ancient ruler of Aquarius. Saturn sextiles this moon from Pisces in the 8th house of death and rebirth. So if you've had a health issue, there could be a new beginning and a conquering of this matter with Saturn here lending strong, stable support. But you will likely have to work to keep it moving forward in a healthy direction. Say a health matter like inflammatory arthritis is revealed, and now you have to take some medicine for the time being, decrease inflammatory food, maybe stay away from nightshade vegetables. That can sometimes be a thing. Reduce alcohol and sugar, anything that aids in inflammation in the body. But Saturn is here giving you the strength to restrict yourself, especially during the holiday season, and could be slowing down what you put in your mouth, making sure Saturn is like very traditional and can be very elegant. So maybe you're eating, you'll start to eat more like high quality food and eating less. So this could give you the strength to restrict yourself, especially during the holiday season. And in the 6 months, you could be physically transformed, but also mentally, as we know inflammation also affects our brains and the way we feel. If it's not health, it could be a work project that can yield a transformation in your resources or investments due to the work that you start putting in around the time of this new moon. I would wait till the moon starts to become visible before you actually take action. But write down these hopes, dreams, goals, and wishes at the time of the new moon. It could be a government contract, for example, where you get a chunk of money as well. Or maybe this is a creative like business project or film idea or fantasy with Saturn and Pisces, Neptune house. And you're working on it behind the scenes, especially with like Mars and Cancer and that going into your 12th house. Like again, that could represent you working on an artistic project behind the scenes. But with such a stable aspect baked into whatever project you're working on, this can yield great results in time, maybe even showing some promising progress by the time of the full moon in Capricorn in 6 months. All right, Leo, take care, and we'll see you in January.